Hey folks, Chris Friend here from Jenson USA. I'm here with Steven at Specialized, and today we're going to take out their new Recon line of shoes. Now, shoes are probably one of the most important contact points you can invest in, because not only does it connect your body to the bike, but it also needs to deliver power through your legs into your cranks, and while being comfortable. And so I'm here with Steven here at Specialized, and he's brought out the brand new Recon line of shoes. And they're going to talk a little bit about their design philosophy, their features, and which one might be best for you.
And the real thing that I think everything on all of our footwear ties into is this concept of body geometry. Mm-hmm. And so that's a sort of a concept that lives within a lot of our different products here at Specialized, especially at touch points. That's really where we're keenly focused on it. There's really three core things that we build into all of our shoes. To make that rider comfortable, that's number one, right? And then efficient and supported, right? I think that's also really what we're looking for with body geometry. So those three features though, it's the forefoot varus wedge, it's a longitudinal arch, and in all of our shoes we include a metatarsal button. And so those three things, the varus wedge, that's what that's doing is sort of supporting the natural sort of angulation of the foot. So a little bit of, most people display a little bit of what's called forefoot varus, right? So the foot is slightly twisted into the forefoot. And so bringing the shoe up to meet them means that that forefoot isn't going to collapse as they're pedaling, causing the need to dive in, which causes inefficiency and potentially causes injury. So that's the big thing. Our longitudinal arch helps there as well, helping prevent arch collapse and support across the arch. And then finally the metatarsal button. That's a small sort of like the bump you see on the insole. What that's helping to do is take your foot and sort of splay the metatarsals open and allow for more blood flow and sort of more data flow to happen within your foot. So this is our new Recon line, and really our line that is about pedaling performance on the dirt. And so the shoe that all these shoes are basing off of is this one, which is the S-Works Recon. This is really our pinnacle product here for 2-bolt pedaling performance, and sort of represents, the premium and what it means to have premium quality, premium materials, top of the line fit. So with this, we take a lot of our inspiration, of course, from road, and we're kind of taking really with the S-Works Recon, it's S-Works 7, but built for off-road and built for dirt. So we're really using almost the same upper here. We've added a few things. We've added an injection molded external toe bumper to give you a little more rock protection. The other obvious part is the outsole. So still it's a full carbon outsole, and it's what we call our torsion box construction. So there's a couple carbon layers. There's a spacer with a PU cookie, and then a couple more carbon layers. And so that offset gives us a lot of stiffness out of the product. The things that makes this really special though, I think, is we're a lot of times in sort of pedaling focused 2-bolt shoes. You'll see all TPU, these hard lugs that don't really provide much grip across the entire shoe because they're lightweight. But with us, we're using a rubber heel and toe, and we really just want that rider to have a little bit more confidence when they're off bike walking around. So I've added that onto S-Works Recon. The pontoons here though, those are still TPU. Keep them nice and hard, give that rider a really solid pedaling platform to stand on. So in the upper of this shoe, a lot of this shoe is about having zonal closure and providing a really premium lockdown for the rider. So in the whole saddle of the shoe, we've layered in this material called Dyneema. It's a super lightweight, super low stretch fiber. For the most part, the Dyneema yarn is really famous for sailcloth. Essentially, it's this super rip stop resistance sailcloth. Cool, and then also on S-Works Recon, you'll see our dual S3 BOA dials. This is a dial that's proprietary to Specialized, something that BOA makes specifically for us. And these are just really kind of special dials. One of the first things that you'll notice, of course, is that they are metal. So these are a CNC'd cap. And then the internals are also quite special for the off-road rider. It actually is using a spring clutch instead of a pawl mechanism. It's not relying on teeth for engagement. And so for the dirt rider, that means that you're not going to be out in the middle of nowhere and have this thing start slipping on you. It's really a super durable component when dirt's getting involved. So. From S-Works Recon, this is really our new line. So starting kind of here with Recon 3.0, The next one down is Recon 2.0, and then at the entry level here we have Recon 1.0. Big updates that are happening. The first is this idea of walkability. When we were talking to riders and starting to work on this project, that was the one thing that just kept coming up over and over again was, why do your shoes suck to walk around in? And so that was like a big key for us to say, like, okay, we have to figure out a way to resolve this. And so with this new Recon line, the key feature that we worked on was this new component called Stride. And so what Stride is, a shoe that is allowed for some toe flex without losing any pedaling efficiency. So on the 3.0, you'll notice here, this is a carbon outsole as well. To give that walkability feature, we've done a full rubber bottom, just so that there's a lot of traction when that rider's walking. And then really the special thing, that Stride component is in the midsole of this shoe. And what we've done is take a lot of learnings from our bike engineering team, as well as some of the products we've worked on in the past, and engineered in glass fiber components into our carbon fiber part. So the material, as well as shaping, provides a toe that when you load it, it'll flex in one direction, but it won't flex in the other direction. So I'm doing this because it actually looks a little bit like a spoon, the shape that we're looking for. So if you just think about like your plastic spoon, you can take that spoon, you can fold it one way really easily, but if you hold it the other direction, try and peel it the other way, it's really difficult and it's quite stiff. And that's really what's going on in the front of the 3.0.
Okay.
The other kind of call out features here, of course, too, you'll notice dual L6 boa dials. So these are pop release dials, and then they're micro tightening dials. This shoe as well is a fully welded shoe. So we do have one stitch line sewing it up, but for the most part, this thing is all done with welding. What that does for us is it really lets us fine tune the fit and the hold, and put things exactly where we want to allow for comfort where we want it and support where we need it. Moving from the 3.0 to the 2.0, we have a lot of the same sort of features here. So it's using the same L6 bow dial. It's a welded mesh and TPU upper here as well. And then this also has Stride, but we're doing it in a different way with this one. So this one is going to be a lot more noticeable in hand and to the person trying it on. What we've done is really take sort of our standard nylon insole here, which is just injected reinforced nylon, and we're starting to dual inject it. And so what we're doing is injecting nylon through this whole arch area and supporting the arch for that pedaling force. And in the toe, we're injecting alternative material TPU to allow for some flex to happen. So with this shoe, you'll notice like there's a lot of toe flex, really comfortable off bike, but then when you're pedaling, there isn't that much flex in the opposite directions. Both of these shoes too, they are using a special construction that we are using in a lot of our trail shoes called EXPEL. EXPEL, what that is a kind of special material that we're using for our shoes where we think that the rider is going to get kind of in the muck and in the wet. And what we're doing is really replacing as much foam that would be used in a traditional shoe with a very open and sort of like hydrophobic mesh, primarily in the tongues. And what this is doing though is it's really cutting down on the weight gain that's going to happen when you ride through a puddle or have to do a river or creek crossing. And it's also cutting down on dry time. So these shoes will dry out within a number of hours. Definitely overnight, they're going to be dry. They'll be dry for you the next day. And then when you do get wet, they're going to onboard about half the weight of a traditional shoe. So you're not going to be pedaling around with these like 400, 500 gram pairs of...
totally waterlogged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite's the sound that it makes when you're... All right, Chris. And finally, we have the Recon 1.0. And so this is the shoe for that rider who's looking for that pedaling performance, 2-bolt experience, but a more price-conscious rider. So there's a lot of stuff coming from really the Recon 2 into the Recon 1.0. So they're sharing things like the reinforced nylon midsole for that pedaling stiffness, but then in the forefoot of this, still also getting that Stride toe flex technology. The big thing here too, we really just wanted an upper that was very simple and something that would function for a long time. And so we've stuck with the 3 Velcro straps. This material and this function of closure is just very sort of reliable and allows the rider to still get that zonal fit across their entire foot. And then sort of the new exciting thing for me in this one too is this like additional flex zone that we've added to the upper, so that makes the off-bike sort of experience of the shoe really fantastic.
Well, thanks, Stephen, for showing us around the new Recon line. If you're an XC rider or if you're planning on doing an all-day epic, I think you'd be really happy on any one of these shoes. Thanks again for showing us around the facility. Thanks for watching, and keep pedaling.